Hi there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're taking a look here at a Nissan Figaro 1-liter front-wheel drive turbo engine. And so this is a classically styled, very cool little vehicle that Nissan made in the late 80s / early 90s, and has been quite popular for export here from Japan. This one was bought from auction for export to a customer in Canada. And so we're going to be taking a look over the condition of the car and comparing it to the vehicle's auction sheet. Here's the auction sheet here. I will translate that for you in just a little bit. I'm just going to give you a quick little look at what the vehicle looks like, because they are very unique and have become very popular exports recently because of their styling, being a classically styled, very different from basically everything else out there on the road. Open top with a canvas top. Makes for a very unique vehicle and puts a smile on the face of everybody who's seen one of them, especially driving down the road, because you look on the internet and you look at pictures of cars and the cars look cool, but definitely cars have a different presence on the road than they do in pictures. So the engine puts out around 80 horsepower. It's carbureted and turbocharged, which makes it a little bit special. Oil of this one looks like it needs to be changed, and the coolant was 300cc too low, and so I've got some extra water in there, but you're going to want to check that when you get the vehicle. We have a little bit of surface rusting up here, and so this video is basically going to be a check of the condition of the car. And the Figaros vary in price a lot. They go from basically around 400,000 at the bottom to $2 million at the top, but that's for the very low mileage ones. This one has 128,000 kilometers on it. I would say that this one's probably a little bit, some areas are above average, like the body is above average, and then some areas like rust is below average, even though a lot of these do have rust on them now that they're as old as they are, this one being a 1991. Okay, but the engine revs nicely. The AC compressor comes on, but the AC doesn't work on this one. It's not cold. Just going to lower this. Cute little engine, MA10. It's the same engine as in the POW and the Micra / March and the BE1. Timing belt was changed in 2014 at 70,000 kilometers, 67,000 kilometers. And so actually pretty high mileage for the last 4 years. 60,000 kilometers in 4 years. There we go, close that properly. And this vibrates a little bit. Vibration sounds off, on, off, on. Yeah. And that's due a little bit to a slightly shakier than average engine, but it seems like you could put some sound deadening material like Dynamat in there and it would quiet it completely, because all you need is one little bit to stop that rattle. Okay, so let's go over the auction sheet here and I'll sit on the hood. Not really, but just rest my bum on to quiet it down. Okay, so 1991 Figaro, 1000cc, so you're going to get good fuel economy even though it's a turbocharged engine. It's 1000cc, it's very lightweight, and you're not going to be racing these around. They're not really race cars even though it is a turbo. It's just a fun car to drive around slowly. Auction grade 3.5 with an interior C, comes with power steering and power windows. I'm glad they have power steering because a lot of 80s cars with no power steering are a little bit annoying by today's standards. Original green color, they came in 4 different colors. Purchased from user, owner's manual, and in 2014, this is what the seller wrote, 2014 September 20th at 67,231 kilometers. The timing belt was changed according to a sticker in the engine room. If you look at the body here, it's very low on marks. Everything looks to be really good. Just a couple of things to point out. There's C1 here, which is corrosion, and A2 here, which is a medium scratch. And I'll show you those now before I come back to do the rest of that. So the C1, luckily it's on the gas cap here, the gas cap lid, and so this piece here can be replaced fairly easily, and so not something I would worry about. And then the A2 is not so bad. It's in an area that your eyes aren't naturally drawn to. Okay, let's go back to this, and I'll read the notes from the inspector. So seat wear, and the side is ripped. It's not worn as bad as a lot of these seats. These seats tend to take a beating, and so this is where a lot of your price difference comes, is with good / bad interior. I would put this one somewhere in the middle. It's not terrible, it's not perfect. Wrinkles and dirty on the seat. trim wear and dirty, oil leak on the engine, and engine top not leaking, it's not dripping down. And then I had it parked here overnight, and there's no oil on the ground where it was parked, and so it looks like it's just a mini leak. And look at this, Derek's got some extra work to do. Referring to myself in third person. We got a wheel with a flat tire. Yuck. That's your stretch tires for the win. That's what's going to happen to them. Okay, go back to the notes section. Stop rattling. Okay, hood interior has surface rust. I showed you that already. Various scratches and dents. Underside surface rust. Rear glass area tear and comes up. This is actually a pretty major problem on the car, and I'll show you that in a second. You have to put the top up in order for you to see that, and so I'll show you how to put the top up in a second. And the left front pillar one part has a corrosion hole. This is another thing that should be a serious thing, and definitely was a reason why we got this car for pretty cheap, but it's actually not that big, but you do have to take the fender off to get to it. You open the door here, and you don't open the door here, because that man will be angry with me. Don't be angry, I'm sorry. He didn't seem to be very happy. In here, right there, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I did get some pictures of it, but it's kind of a hard thing to see because it's dark in there. There's something about the size of a loonie. This is a Canadian customer. Loonie is a $1 coin in Canada. See this seam? It's right in the middle of this seam. There you can see it. It doesn't look like it's going to be a major repair, but you do want to get that repaired before it moves, because Nissans and their rust, they're best friends. Okay, and so yeah, that's everything on the sheet. Let's do the once around of the vehicle so you can see what it looks like. It is a little bit weird to 7 minutes into the video start doing the once around, but I guess that's what happened with this one. It's a one-shot video, no edits, no going back. There's no way we would be able to get these videos onto YouTube if we were doing editing and stuff like that. Add another hour to each video. Okay, so yeah, really cool looking, kind of jelly bean-ish. Very classy. And I love the soft suspension with the small wheels and the power steering. It feels very unique to drive this compared to other cars. So chrome bits on the front, you can see the chrome bumper, headlight surrounds, and then there's a character line that goes from the headlight all the way back to the tail lights. Very good looking. The white mirrors. I'm squishing your mirror. Okay, front bumper has a bit of rust on it, you can see right there. And then there's a little bit more over here. Right there. Also some pitting on the handle for the mirror there. Got some scratches in here because that kind of scratches. Or it could also be it's funny how much fingernails can scratch the paint on a car. This back section is the trunk, and this is the trunk. You get two trunks in this car. Very cool. A little bit of rust there. And there's some discoloration in here. Just a little bit. This part here is a cover. I didn't snap it because I'll be putting the roof back down, but you can snap this into place to have it act as kind of like a nice looking piece. I guess a bit of trim. And then you can take this off completely if you want to wash it. You do get rear seats, but they're not really usable as rear seats, as you can see. Better to consider this a four-seater. I mean a two-seater, pardon me. And I just noticed up here, pull that back and there's some crunchiness inside there. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Okay, so problem with the roof. First, can't pull that up yet. Okay, so I'm just going to go into the interior quickly so that I can pop that. There's a hidden switch down in here. Pop. Yeah, the interior is lovely. I'll come back to that in a sec. This goes up. Here's the top. And a little bit of rust here. And quite a bit right there. Okay. You have a special handle here, and it says make sure you use the handle when you're putting the top up. So here we go. Up. And down into place. And then from the interior you snap this into place. And I'm just going to leave that like that as is for now. Here's how big your trunk is. It's actually pretty reasonable. And I would show you this other one, but it's not really a trunk. There's a spare tire and tools in there, and you can put a few other things in there if you want, but not much. It looks like we got some sitting water in here. So I think that you have a drain hole in this, and then it might be plugged from dirt, and that's how you get the rust in there. Okay, so close this up for now. There you go. And here's your problem with the comes up and tear. First off, the tear is right here. And it has torn because underneath here is rust. Bubbly rust in there. And so there's like a vinyl sheet. It's original vinyl sheet. But it comes up, and if you touch it, you can feel the crunchiness of rust. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Kind of a serious problem. So you would really have to pay a body shop to repair that. It's not a difficult thing for them to repair, so I don't know how much it would cost, but it is around the window. You may have to take that window out, but a body shop would know that much better than I do. Okay, open the really fun to open handles. Be careful. These door cards are dirty, but not as dirty as they often are on this car. Got nice looking window buttons and door handle. All of that works properly. Here you can see the gorgeous steering wheel, the gorgeous dials, and the gorgeous little check engine lights. They're not on. Little switches, they're gorgeous. Everything in here is gorgeous. So seats. Driver's seat has some cracking right up here because it's gotten dry. And then the rip, and these are leather seats, rip down here next to the piping and a little bit down here. And then this little cover piece has fallen off. So it's supposed to go here, and currently it goes there. Okay, floor mats are not bad, a little bit dirty. Sit down. Love these gauges. They're some of my favorite gauges of any car. Okay, so pretty standard looking flat panel dashboard, very much like a car from England. This is a really nice looking AC control panel, and then the CD player is even classic looking, even though they didn't have CDs in classic times. Also tape deck, and it says Figaro, exclusive to this car. Shifter, and it comes with the original card here to tell you how the shift lock works, which is kind of funny that it has that, because the shift locks, not on this one, but commonly on the Figaros, the shift locks are needed because this button stops working and you have to actually push down the shift lock, which is down here. Okay, so roof, easy. You just pull this down into place and then pop these. 1, 2, roof's on. And no signs of any leaking inside. It's not smelly, it's not moldy, and that's a good thing because a lot of the Figaros actually are. Okay, And so, can't say the price because we don't say the price on these because this is somebody's actual car that they bought. But this one would be on the lower end of prices for the Figaros. And so keep that in mind for the condition of it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.